Welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast, the show where we help you optimize your health, fitness, and mindset on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. My name is Maxime Sigouin. I am a former triathlete, powerlifter, bodybuilder, and basketball player, and I've been vegan for over 9 years. I'm also the founder and CEO of Fit Vegan Coaching, which has helped over 500 vegans from 20 different countries to completely transform their bodies and their health. I'm excited for you to hear today's episode. Let's get into the show. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Today, we're going to go over 5 tricks to help you stay on track during the holidays. So I've been coaching people for several years now. We have over 600 transformations. The hardest time of the year tends to be around Christmas and New Year. So today I wanted to equip you with a strategy that's going to allow you to stay on track with your fat loss goal, with your health goal, but it's also going to allow you to enjoy yourself and not feel guilty once you've enjoyed yourself. Because I think that's a big one. A lot of times we know we have the ability to go over our nutrition or eat things that we're not supposed to, but then the guilt that comes after is a consequence that we don't need to live with if we do it properly. And so I just want to equip you with a good game plan that's going to allow you to be able to enjoy yourself, stay on track, and be guilt-free post-meal, post-dinner with the family. So tip number 1, I just have written down here because I want to make sure that I don't forget any of them, is you want to front load on your protein before you get to that family dinner, before you get to that event. Here's a reason why. One is if you don't eat enough protein in your day and you're actively strength training and exercising, what's going to happen is your body composition is going to start heading in the opposite direction. You're going to start to feel a little bit softer, a little bit more a little bit less tone. You're not going to feel as strong. You're not going to recover as well from the gym. And so what I've noticed a big difference is if you're going to go to a dinner and eat, have some wine, have some chocolate cake or whatever food that may be, if you've hit your protein to the day, you're still going to feel more tone and strong the next day versus if you barely hit any of your protein because you're focusing on foods that would allow yourself to enjoy yourself a little bit more, you're going to feel more saggy and soft the next day, right? So simply playing around with the amount of protein for that day is going to make a difference into how you feel the next day. And I don't know for you, I don't care if I'm a little bit heavier after one of those meals, but I need to feel like I'm strong. I need to feel like my body is feeling tone versus just feeling soft and saggy and puffy the next day from having eaten things that I'm not supposed to. So make sure you're front loading on your protein. So what that can look like is you wake up in the morning, you have a big protein smoothie, like 2 scoops of protein powder, you're throwing some greens, you're throwing some berries in there, you have a tofu stir fry for lunch, right, without any carbs in there. Simply because you want to save your carbs and your fats and the majority of your calories for the evening time for that dinner that you're going to have. So just front load on your protein so that when you get to that family dinner or to that event, all you need to hit is like 10, 15 grams of protein and the rest is all carbs and fats. You can enjoy yourself a little bit more. And again, the sensation you're going to have the next day is going to be very different if you hit it, if you didn't. If you did, you're going to feel more toned and strong, right? Second one is once you get to that event, to that family dinner, the first thing you want to do is to not go nuts for all the foods that you know you want to eat. The first thing you need to do is just load up on veggies, right? Because listen, at the end of the day, you're going to have room in your stomach for you to eat all the food that's available there. So it's just about being smart with it. If you can build a good base in your stomach of food that is high in fiber and high in nutrient density to satisfy those nutrient receptors, to keep your gut a little bit more satiated with those vegetables that you're going to eat, then when it's time for you to eat the chocolate cake or the cookie or enjoy some of these foods that you like a little bit more, there's going to be less room available, so you will be able to eat less of them, right? Versus if you go in there empty stomach, you start eating the food that is really dense in calorie, you're going to be able to eat a lot of it simply because there's not a lot of fiber in it the majority of the time. There's not a lot of nutrients, so those nutrients receptors won't be satisfied. That is the reason why you can eat a full bag of chip and still be hungry, but you just consume 2,000 calories of energy through that bag of chips, but you don't feel full, versus if I give you a 400 calorie Buddha bowl, you're going to feel full and satiated after when it's a fraction of the calorie. The difference is the fiber and the nutrient density in there. So kind of trick your stomach by building a good base of fiber, nutrient dense food, so that again, when you enjoy the food, when you're about to eat the food that you're going to enjoy, you're just going to want to eat less of it naturally. You won't have to fight your cravings. You just naturally want to eat less of it because you're already kind of full, right? So step number 3, and that's what we recommend for a member, pick one thing that you want to enjoy and just enjoy that for the dinner, right? So if there's cookies, there's cake, there's ice cream, there's wine, like whatever it may be, whatever your thing is that you're like, damn, this is the thing that I want for this party, then just enjoy that, right? Loading up your stomach, front loading on protein. If for you it's wine, like have a few glasses of wine. If it's the dessert, the chocolate cake, if it's the ice cream, it's the cookie, if it's the chips. Sorry, I went for all the sweet stuff because I have a sweet tooth. But if your thing is the salty, right, you're going for the chips and all the snacks and crackers, then enjoy that a little bit more, right? Because you can pick one thing and actually enjoy the thing that you like. There's another level to it, which you can just grab a little bit of everything. If you're able to front load, again, your protein, load up on vegetables, eat some good quality food, and then you can enjoy just a little bit of all these things that you want. Because at the end of the day, you guys probably been in that position. If you really want something, you want like a cookie, for example, you eat one cookie, it tastes awesome because it's the first one. The second one is a little bit better. Third one, And then by the time you get to the sixth to the seventh one, it just tastes sweet. And it's just texture in your mouth that tastes sweet. Like it's not as good as the first cookie you ate, right? So being able to have like one cookie, a little bit of ice cream, a little bit of cake, or a little bit of chips, whatever it may be, is going to allow yourself to enjoy a little bit more, right? So it's going to be point number 3. Pick something that you enjoy. And then if you feel like you have a little bit more self-control, just grab a little bit of the things that you want to enjoy. Because again, that 10th cookie won't taste as good as the first one. So knowing that, just have a little bit of each so that you can kind of have that variety for yourself. Point number 4, focus on people versus food, right? Food is a part of the experience. And so now that you don't have the limitations of coming in and scream like, I'm vegan and I'm trying to lose fat, I can't have anything here, it's all unhealthy. And then you just spark a big conversation with everyone around you. You just come in quiet, right? You do what you need to do. You enjoy your time with people. You have a conversation with them. You just choose the food that are going to serve you. You don't make a big deal out of it. It's going to allow yourself to enjoy the experience a lot better than if you come in screaming like, I'm vegan and I'm losing fat, so I can't have anything here. Then people are going to ask you a bunch of questions. They're going to debate with you as to why you're vegan, it's stupid, or blah, 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 or you look fine, you don't need to lose weight, but you feel uncomfortable in your skin, right? You're just going to stop a lot of conversation. And I'm talking from experience because I've done it for the past 9 years, all right? Now I'm quiet when I enter somewhere. And also, I own a few vegan companies, so people know that I'm vegan. But before I was very big in this space, I just wouldn't say anything. And because I didn't want to make a big deal of it, I'm just going to do me because I want to be able to be present and have conversations with these people that are going to be meaningful, and us kind of going back and forth over veganism and why I'm doing it and if it's good for them, or why I'm doing it because it's not good for me. I just don't want to waste my time on that. So focus on the people versus the food. Focus on the conversation with people and then snack on the food. And then point number 5, that one is pretty straightforward, and it's simply to own your choices. So if you're going to go to a family dinner and you front loaded on your protein, you've loaded up on vegetables, you've snacked on some of these things that you want, and then you have a glass of wine, and then it kind of inhibits your willpower, your discipline muscle. You're like, well, I'm gonna have a little bit more chips, I'm gonna have a little bit more cookie. If this does happen, the first thing you have to do is just own your choices. Cool, like I chose that, right? No one was force feeding chips and cookies or cake into my mouth. No one was force drinking me to drink the wine. It was a personal choice. So if you can own your choices, then the next day when you wake up and you're feeling puffy and bloated and your number is up on the scale, then you can be like, okay, like I did this, right? It was not like it was out of my control and someone forced me to do it. Like I consciously chose this. No one's going to go to a Christmas party, hold your head and shove food down your throat, right? Like it's a conscious choice that you're making. So by owning it, it makes it easier for you to recover, right? And then once you own it, you just focus on the best rule of all that has helped hundreds of our members, which is simply to win the next meal. Don't try to compensate for the calories that you ate before by cutting your food, because then 2 days after you're going to be hungrier because you just had a day with less food. Don't try to compensate with exercise, because if you're trying to burn 400 calories by running or by biking or by swimming, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be hungrier, so therefore it will be challenging for you to not eat more food. And you're just starting a really vicious cycle that doesn't need to happen. So if you do happen to go off track during the holidays, don't worry, just focus on winning the next meal. Right? There's no deadline to you becoming healthy and fitter, right? We always have like milestones that we want to hit, but at the end of the day, you want to turn this into a thing that you'll be able to do for the rest of your life. And so if you're always stuck in this constant cycle of yo-yo dieting, eventually you crash and you just stop trying, then you're actually not going to make any progression if you stop trying. So keep a healthy mindset of just focus on winning the next meal. It'll give you a better relationship with food. It'll give you a better relationship with the process, and you get much better results. And you'll actually enjoy the experience of being able to have dinners and connect with people and have foods that you enjoy. All right, guys. So this is a short podcast today, but again, it's straight to the point. There's a lot of great tactics that help hundreds of our members lose fat during the holiday season. So I know that these tricks work because I've personally used them for several years. Every time I was cutting during winter, we've had several hundred members use them during the holiday season and lose fat and continue progressing towards their goal. You know, even on the worst case scenario, let's just not put on weight. If you can maintain your weight during the holiday season, that's a huge win, right? That way, if you put on 10 pounds and you don't have an additional 10 pounds to lose in the new year on top of what you wanted to lose originally. So worst case scenario, trying to stay the same weight, but if you use these tactics, promise you'll be able to lose weight during the holiday season. And so if this podcast was valuable, feel free to share it with someone that needs to hear this. If you're having an accountability partner that you guys are training through the holidays together, trying to lose some weight, send them the podcast so they equip these strategies as well. Again, at the end of the day, these strategies won't work if you don't use them, right? That's basically how it works. So I invite you to implement it into your life. If you have any questions, several ways you can reach out to me. Down below in the show notes, there's a link to my Instagram, to our free Fit Vegan community. If you want to work with us, there's a link and a few videos that explain kind of how we'd be able to transform and see if we'd be a good fit for you. And you can book your free Fit Vegan consultation call. Again, all the links are in the show notes if you want more details. But if not, just implement this game plan. I want you guys to crush it through the holidays so you can start 2023 strong. Thank you for listening to the episode, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.